Part 4. The Life and Teachings of Jesus. This group of papers was sponsored by a commission of 12 Urantia midwayers, acting under the supervision of a Melchizedek revelatory director. The basis of this narrative was supplied by a secondary midwayer who was one time assigned to the superhuman watch care of the Apostle Andrew.
Paper 120. The Bestowal of Michael on Urantia. Assigned by Gabriel to supervise the restatement of the life of Michael when on Urantia and in the likeness of mortal flesh, I, the Melchizedek director of the Revelatory Commission entrusted with this task, am authorized to present this narrative of certain events which immediately preceded the Creator Son's arrival on Urantia to embark upon the terminal phase of his universe bestowal experience. To live such identical lives as he imposes upon the intelligent beings of his own creation, thus to bestow himself in the likeness of his various orders of created beings, is a part of the price which every Creator Son must pay for the full and supreme sovereignty of his self-made universe of things and beings. Before the events I am about to delineate, Michael of Nebadon had bestowed himself 6 times after the similitude of 6 differing orders of his diverse creation of intelligent beings. Then he prepared to descend upon Urantia in the likeness of mortal flesh, the lowest order of his intelligent will creatures, and as such a human of the material realm, to execute the final act in the drama of the acquirement of universe sovereignty in accordance with the mandates of the divine paradise rulers of the universe of universes. In the course of each of these preceding bestowals, Michael not only acquired the finite experience of one group of his created beings, but he also acquired an essential experience in paradise cooperation, which would, in and of itself, further contribute to constituting him the sovereign of his self-made universe. At any moment throughout all past local universe time, Michael could have asserted personal sovereignty as a Creator Son, and as a Creator Son could have ruled his universe after the manner of his own choosing. In such an event, Immanuel and the associated Paradise Sons would have taken leave of the universe. But Michael did not wish to rule Nebadon merely in his own isolated right as a Creator Son. He desired to ascend through actual experience in cooperative subordination to the Paradise Trinity to that high place in universe status where he would become qualified to rule his universe and administer its affairs with that perfection of insight and wisdom of execution which will sometime be characteristic of the exalted rule of the Supreme Being. He aspired not to perfection of rule as a Creator Son, but to supremacy of administration, as the embodiment of the universe wisdom and the divine experience of the Supreme Being. Michael therefore had a double purpose in the making of these 7 bestowals upon the various orders of his universe creatures. First, he was completing the required experience in creature understanding, which is demanded of all Creator Sons, before they assume complete sovereignty. At any time, a Creator Son may rule his universe in his own right, but he can rule as the supreme representative of the Paradise Trinity only after passing through the 7 universe creature bestowals. Second, he was aspiring to the privilege of representing the maximum authority of the Paradise Trinity, which can be exercised in the direct and personal administration of a local universe. Accordingly, did Michael, during the experience of each of his universe bestowals, successfully and acceptably voluntarily subordinate himself to the variously constituted wills of the diverse associations of the persons of the Paradise Trinity. That is, on the first bestowal, he was subject to the combined will of the Father, Son, and Spirit. On the second bestowal, to the will of the Father and the Son. On the third bestowal, to the will of the Father and the Spirit. On the fourth bestowal, to the will of the Son and the Spirit. On the fifth bestowal, to the will of the Infinite Spirit. On the 6th bestowal, to the will of the Eternal Son. And during the 7th and final bestowal on Urantia, to the will of the Universal Father. Michael therefore combines in his personal sovereignty the divine will of the 7-fold phases of the universal creators with the understanding experience of his local universe creatures. Thus has his administration become representative of the greatest possible power and authority, although divested of all arbitrary assumptions. His power is unlimited, since it is derived from experienced association with the paradise deities. His authority is unquestioned inasmuch as it was acquired through actual experience in the likeness of universe creatures. His sovereignty is supreme, since it embodies at one and the same time the sevenfold viewpoint of paradise deity with the creature viewpoint of time and space. Having determined the time of his final bestowal and having selected the planet whereon this extraordinary event would take place, Michael held the usual pre-bestowal conference with Gabriel, and then presented himself before his elder brother and paradise counselor, Immanuel. All powers of universe administration, which had not previously been conferred upon Gabriel, Michael now assigned to the custody of Immanuel. And just before Michael's departure for the Urantia incarnation, Immanuel, in accepting the custody of the universe during the time of the Urantia bestowal, proceeded to impart the bestowal counsel, which would serve as the incarnation guide for Michael when he would presently grow up on Urantia as a mortal of the realm. In this connection it should be borne in mind that Michael had elected to execute this bestowal in the likeness of mortal flesh, subject to the will of the Paradise Father. The Creator Son required instructions from no one in order to effect this incarnation for the sole purpose of achieving universe sovereignty, but he had embarked upon a program of the revelation of the Supreme, which involved cooperative functioning with the diverse wills of the paradise deities. Thus his sovereignty, when finally and personally acquired, would actually be all-inclusive of the sevenfold will of deity as it culminates in the Supreme. He had, therefore, 6 times previously been instructed by the personal representatives of the various paradise deities and associations thereof, and now he was instructed by the Union of Days, ambassador of the Paradise Trinity to the local universe of Nebadon, acting on behalf of the Universal Father. There were immediate advantages and tremendous compensations resultant from the willingness of this mighty Creator Son once more voluntarily to subordinate himself to the will of the paradise deities, this time to that of the Universal Father. By this decision to effect such associative subordination, Michael would experience in this incarnation not only the nature of mortal man, but also the will of the Paradise Father of all, and further, he could enter upon this unique bestowal with the complete assurance not only that Immanuel would exercise the full authority of the Paradise Father in the administration of his universe during his absence on the Urantia bestowal, but also with the comforting knowledge that the Ancients of Days of the super-universe had decreed the safety of his realm throughout the entire bestowal period. And this was the setting of the momentous occasion when Immanuel presented the 7th bestowal commission, and from this pre-bestowal charge of Immanuel to the universe ruler, who subsequently became Jesus of Nazareth, Christ Michael, on Urantia, I am permitted to present the following excerpts. 1. The 7th Bestowal Commission. My Creator Brother, I am about to witness your 7th and final universe bestowal. Most faithfully and perfectly have you executed the 6 previous commissions, and I entertain no thought but that you will be equally triumphant on this, your terminal sovereignty bestowal. Heretofore, you have appeared on your bestowal spheres as a fully developed being of the order of your choosing. Now you are about to appear upon Urantia, the disordered and disturbed planet of your choice, not as a fully developed mortal, but as a helpless babe. This, my comrade, will be a new and untried experience for you. You are about to pay the full price of bestowal, and to experience the complete enlightenment of the incarnation of a Creator in the likeness of a creature. Throughout each of your former bestowals you have voluntarily chosen to subject yourself to the will of the 3 paradise deities and their divine interassociations. Of the 7 phases of the will of the Supreme, you have in your previous bestowals been subject to all but the personal will of your Paradise Father. Now that you have elected to be wholly subject to your Father's will throughout your 7th bestowal, I, as the personal representative of our Father, assume the unqualified jurisdiction of your universe for the time of your incarnation. In entering upon the Urantia bestowal, you have voluntarily divested yourself of all extraplanetary support and special assistance, such as might be rendered by any creature of your own creation. As your created sons of Nebadon are wholly dependent upon you for safe conduct throughout their universe careers, so now must you become wholly and unreservedly dependent upon your Paradise Father for safe conduct throughout the unrevealed vicissitudes of your ensuing mortal career. And when you shall have finished this bestowal experience, you will know in very truth the full meaning and the rich significance of that faith trust which you so unvaryingly require all your creatures to master as a part of their intimate relationship with you as their local universe creator and father. Throughout your Urantia bestowal, you need be concerned with but one thing: the unbroken communion between you and your Paradise Father. And it will be by the perfection of such a relationship that the world of your bestowal, even all the universe of your creation, will behold a new and more understandable revelation of your Father and my Father, the universal Father of all. Your concern, therefore, has only to do with your personal life on Urantia. I will be fully and efficiently responsible for the security and unbroken administration of your universe, from the moment of your voluntary relinquishment of authority until you return to us as Universe Sovereign, confirmed by Paradise and received back from my hands, not the vicegerent authority which you now surrender to me, but instead the supreme power over and jurisdiction of your universe. And that you may know with assurance that I am empowered to do all that I am now promising, knowing full well that I am the assurance of all Paradise for the faithful performance of my word, I announce to you that there has just been communicated to me a mandate of the Ancients of Days on Uversa, which will prevent all spiritual jeopardy in Nebadon throughout the period of your voluntary bestowal. From the moment you surrender consciousness, upon the beginning of the mortal incarnation, until you return to us as supreme and unconditional sovereign of this universe of your own creation and organization, nothing of serious import can happen in all Nebadon. In this interim of your incarnation, I hold the orders of the Ancients of Days, which unqualifiedly mandate the instantaneous and automatic extinction of any being guilty of rebellion or presuming to instigate insurrection in the universe of Nebadon while you are absent on this bestowal. My brother, in view of the authority of Paradise inherent in my presence and augmented by the judicial mandate of Uversa, your universe and all its loyal creatures will be secure during your bestowal. You may proceed upon your mission with but a single thought: the enhanced revelation of our Father to the intelligent beings of your universe. As in each of your previous bestowals, I would remind you that I am recipient of your universe jurisdiction as brother trustee. I exercise all authority and wield all power in your name. I function as would our Paradise Father, and in accordance with your explicit request that I thus act in your stead. And such being the fact, all this delegated authority is yours again, to exercise at any moment you may see fit to requisition its return. Your bestowal is, throughout, wholly voluntary. As a mortal incarnate in the realm, you are without celestial endowments, but all your relinquished power may be had at any time you may choose to reinvest yourself with universe authority. If you should choose to reinstate yourself in power and authority, remember, it will be wholly for personal reasons, since I am the living and supreme pledge whose presence and promise guarantee the safe administration of your universe in accordance with your Father's will. Rebellion, such as has 3 times occurred in Nebadon, cannot occur during your absence from Salvington on this bestowal. For the period of the Urantia bestowal, the Ancients of Days have decreed that rebellion in Nebadon shall be invested with the automatic seed of its own annihilation. As long as you are absent on this final and extraordinary bestowal, I pledge with